freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round two recap for this week's Tour Championship. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick, good day.
Good day. Great day out there at East Lake. You know, some back nine heaters, couple young guns in the mix. Should set up for a great weekend.
Yeah, lots of young guns in the mix. A trio of 64s were the best round of the day. Let's start with the guy who made the biggest move. That was 5 spots up the leaderboard in Xander Schauffele, a bogey-free 64, 3 under on the front, 3 under on the back, a very symmetrical scorecard. And Patrick, his reign of terror around East Lake continues.
Yeah, I think the PGA Tour tweeted out that this was round number 26 for him. 23 have been under par. The other 3 have been at even par. So he has not yet carded around over par. And, you know, producer Josh was saying beforehand just how good Xander Schauffele has been, but just under the radar, given the runs of Hovland, Scheffler, Rahm, McIlroy, and everyone else. It's pretty similar. I mean, it's funny to say, but his season's been pretty similar to Patrick Cantlay's, where statistically it's fantastic. I think it's his second best ever in terms of total strokes gained, but just hasn't been able to win outside of the Wells Fargo. He really hasn't put together a big contention run, like a real chance at a trophy. And that week he just ran into Wyndham Clark, unfortunately. So it's great to see Xander doing this again. I think everyone knew coming into the week, Xander Schauffele and East Lake kind of just go together. And this was one of those instances.
Started his year off with a very bizarre WD at the Tournament of Champions. He's been very healthy over the course of his career, withdrew there, and since then hasn't missed a cut, has gained strokes to the field in every single event, has looked much more Xander-esque, but no wins here, Patrick. What grade would you assign Xander Schauffele's season?
No wins. And how could I forget, shame on me, the record U.S. Open score in round 1, right after Ricky Fowler accomplished it as well.
That's right.
Was the halfway point leader there too before the 37th hole happened. Made a great bogey there, number 1 at LACC after leaving like 4 in the fairway.
I was right
bunker.
there. I was so scared.
Yeah, maybe just a little nervous to kick off the weekend there. But what he shot, it was 8 under. That's what he shot the first round at the U.S. Open,
right.
and the winning score was 10 under.
Yeah.
So I would say his season as a whole, I'd give him contention on the weekend at a major championship. I think that's big. And then he was in contention at a elevated, designated signature event, Wells Fargo Championship. He just got clipped by Wyndham Clark, not once, but twice.
Ugh, you hate to see it.
I would give his season probably a B.
Okay.
But if he finishes, say, top 3 here and couples it with a 4-0-0 performance at the Ryder Cup, I'd be willing to put it to an A-.
Okay, I'll give him a B- for now, and he's got work to do to get that grade up into the A for me. The second 64 came from Viktor Hovland, 68-64, and I got a text from a buddy of mine who said, quote, Viktor Hovland is a back 9 bully. Yeah, Viktor Hovland is a back 9 bully. That is 4 consecutive birdies from 12 through 15, another on 17, and he got a little unlucky on 18. Hit it too far, Patrick, or else he would have had a really good chance to shoot 29 on his second 9.
He got very unlucky on 18, and you look at that beginning of the back 9 into the middle portion, and 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, and that's really how you separate yourself before eventually being caught at the end by his counterpart. But back 9 bully, I think that's a great name for him. You see the 28 last week. I was a little late to this podcast because I had the 29 story written up, had to change it a little bit because of that misfortune on the 18th when you just hit it too good. I personally don't have that problem. And he had to go, I believe they said on the broadcast, lob wedge into the 18th green. So Viktor Hovland, the name of the game today, as opposed to yesterday, it was on the greens. He was second to last yesterday, only ahead of Scottie Scheffler, oddly enough. And today, I believe he ranked first in terms of strokes gained putting, gaining what, 2.5-ish.
Yeah.
So,
Last time.
so that really is, the 4 strokes that he improves by today. So if he putts like that, we know he has the metal. He has the game. He has the tenacity, the game plan as well. And the drivers just, oh my gosh, let's just start from shot number 2. If you're Viktor Hovland at this point, let's pick up the pace of play, put him in the middle of the fairway, 315 yards out every single time, because it is unbelievable at this point. And I think you got to love his chances. He's the hottest player in the world. He's trying to be the first person since Cantlay in 21 to win the BMW and then the Tour Championship, 4th overall. And the guy he's playing with tomorrow hasn't won in a while. So Hovland's got that on his side as well. Winning's definitely a learned art. And I know the man he's playing with has won quite a lot, but it's been a while. And he's been kind of shaky in that spot in recent memories.
If you missed what happened on 18, Viktor Hovland piped one right down the middle. It landed right on the downslope, rolled 55 yards through the fairway into the thick rough. He went lob wedge, as Patrick mentioned, had to lay up, could not go for the green into, despite driving it through the fairway. It actually reminded me a lot, Patrick, of my time at, what's it called? Bull Run? Down there near.
Oh, yeah.
So
Manassas area.
I was there a couple months ago, and the 18th hole, I drove it through the fairway into the water. And I got a text from you that said, hey, the water on 18 is closer than it appears. And I was like, you're 20 minutes too late, bud. I'm already, out of my pocket here.
I think I texted you, heads up, driver's not the play on 18.
Yeah, I would have liked to have known that 20 minutes earlier.
You're like, are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, sick life. The third 64. Is this a typo? After a 61 on Thursday, Collin Morikawa gets in at 16 under par along with Viktor Hovland. They will play in the final group on Saturday, a couple of young guns. Collin continues his torrid pace around Eastlake in raw scoring, Patrick, because he started at 1 under par. He is 5 shots better than anybody else in this field at the halfway point.
And he has gained over or just about 10 strokes from tee to green through 2 rounds, which is, so he's on pace to gain 20 strokes from tee to green.
I don't think he'll do that, but it shows how ridiculous the first 2 have been.
It's been, this is the Collin Morikawa that we would often see in the big time tournaments, in the major championships, the WGC, RIP when he won that one at the Concession Club as well. And similar to Hovland, the driver is just on a string. I actually think he clips Hovland at this point in terms of strokes gained off the tee, which I think is even more impressive considering Morikawa doesn't really have the firepower. He's hit 22 of 28 fairways so far. And when you put Collin Morikawa in the fairway, you put him with the fade back in the bag. They mentioned it ad nauseum on the broadcast, how he would aim over some sort of hazard, whether it was a bunker, water, trees, and he's trusting it again. And trust is really the name of the game for these guys on the PGA Tour. If they trust what they got, they can go out and go silly low. And that's what we got with Collin Morikawa this week. And that round today could have been even better. He missed a 3-footer there on 11.
Yeah, I thought it was even closer than that. I don't know what the shot link said, but it was. So he stuffs it for 219 yards on a par 3. Yeah, 3 feet 11 inches. He missed that.
And you look at the shadow leaderboard, like you said there, 15 under through 2 rounds. He just broke Tiger Woods' record for the 36-hole total at Eastlake. So he's been mentioned with Tiger before. This is just another one of those instances. And he just looks all around super comfortable. I read his transcript yesterday about him finding something, which I swear this guy finds something new every week. He has said that maybe 4 times over the last 2 months that he has found something Granted, I remember the first time he said it, it was Detroit, and he was in a playoff there. He says it this week. He's playing great golf. I haven't read what he said after today's round. I don't think they're out yet. But name of the game at East Lake is putting the ball in the fairway, and you're seeing the two best drivers with the golf ball at the moment, 1, 2, and the third, right behind them.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a second, but that final group, a pair of young guns out of the same class, 16 under par, Viktor Hovland, Collin Morikawa, exactly what everyone expected 4 years ago when they came out of college and had their hello world moment. We knew this was coming, and we're going to get it this weekend. We'll continue this conversation. We have to talk about the number one player in the world and a couple of other big time lurkers, but first we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
It's time. The best Transformers yet.
There you go.
Is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is gonna be fun, man. Now let's talk to your manifestation.
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Rated PG-13. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And we're back. Collin and Viktor in at 16 under par. They have a 2-shot lead over the man sitting in solo third at 14 under. That is Scottie Scheffler, who started the week at 10 under, went out and struggled on Thursday to a 1 over 71, but bounced back in true Scottie fashion. A 5 under 65 bogey free around East Lake. It has not been the prettiest week, but Scottie Scheffler still very much in the mix with 36 to go.
Let's just give producer Josh a tip of the cap here for this photo selection.
It's a great shot. If you're not watching on YouTube, you are missing out on an epic. Go full. Get us out of there, Josh. Go full on this. An epic. Thank you.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, Scottie, man of the people, amongst the crowd, just giving them what they want.
This is the guy in the back. I want to know what Scottie's looking at, what the guy in the back's pointing at. The cameraman's kind of got his eyes also to the left too. So I don't know what was going on. It might have been that video of you swinging your driver that you posted on Instagram, Rick. They
might have just flashed that up for everybody. Everybody looks pretty happy about it.
They're like, holy crap, look at the speed on that guy. But
that's right.
Look, when you're the best player all year long, you give yourself this margin for error. And on the 15th hole yesterday was obviously that entire margin and then some. And to come out today with 3 early birdies, really get it going. The driver kind of betrayed him in the middle portion of that round. He was, he actually did extremely well to somehow get out of there bogey free. 10 was a bit of a mess. 17 was a mess too, where he was out of position.
18 was pretty ugly.
18, they go to the broadcast. It's never good when the camera has no idea where the ball is.
Yeah, like what window is he going through? Like what window is there? First of all,
all you hear is like Colton Nose going like, "Oh yeah, he did pretty good there." I'm like, I kind of looked from the camera angle like he's in the water.
I thought he was in the water too.
And then Colt's just like, yeah, left rough, not bad. And so just got to go with it. And yeah, he probably wants 18 back to get within one of Viktor and Collin, but to be 6 under bogey free for his last 21 holes after that, real disaster on the 15th yesterday, it really just goes to show, Scottie's mental fortitude and keeping himself in it. And he's just he's so good with these like litmus tests where he knows he's just going to give himself chance after chance after chance that he's going to keep pace or catch up, where, you see it in major championships all the time with him this year.
I cannot remember a guy so bipolar on the putting surfaces. He does this routinely. He lost over 3 strokes putting on Thursday. He gained nearly 2 on Friday. A 5-shot swing with the putter in less than 24 hours. And that has seemingly been routine for Scottie this year. And it's not like he's bad every single round. He flashes these signs of brilliance on the surfaces, but it's just so inconsistent.
It's incredible. I don't understand it either. And even in around today, he had 2 putts that were just miserable as well. And so it, like the one on, I think 16 wasn't even close. He was in tight, I think 8-ish feet. He missed it probably by like a full cup. It seemed like just complete walk right after he made contact with it. So if he putts like today over the next 2 days, he probably tracks down the guys, you would think, but that's a massive if. And like you said, given how he has performed, it's probably more likely that he's net negative over the weekend. And I'm not sure if that his ball striking will be enough given how well both Collin and Viktor are hitting the golf ball at the moment.
Let's hit a couple of big names before we get out of here. Jon Rahm followed up his Thursday 69 with a Friday 65. So that was the second best round of the day. And he himself left a couple of strokes out there, hit a couple of wonky shots that he probably wants back. He is going to enter the weekend 4 off the lead. We probably haven't spent much oxygen on Jon Rahm this week, but I mean, Jon Rahm's live, yes?
Oh, yeah. And he's kind of doing it in a way. He's doing it despite his driver. It seems
Crazy.
like,
Yeah.
and you saw him hit down. He clubbed down a lot more today compared to usual. He was outside the top half in driving distance, which typically is not the case for Jon Rahm. So for him to realize it's a problem, know it's a problem, and he's trying to mitigate the issue with the big stick and still able to get around East Lake effectively with a couple. I mean, 17 is an easy hole. To bogey that is extremely disappointing. He missed a short one in the middle portion of his back 9 as well for birdie. I believe on 12, it would have made it 3 straight. So for him to somehow still be in this only 4 back, where the postseason as a whole to this point has been a massive disappointment. He didn't finish inside the top 30 in Memphis. He didn't do it in Chicago either. He was the number 1 coming into the postseason. All he really had to do was hold serve to get that 2-stroke edge, and he came in 4 back. And halfway through this, he's still 4 back in with a big chance to claim his first FedEx Cup. And I know the PGA Tour tweeted out something today where it was players discussing the Player of the Year race between Scheffler and Rahm, and kind of felt the players are leaning Scheffler with just how consistent he has been. He won the Players Championship, and Rahm's like, I've won 4 times. I've won the Masters. I'm obviously biased, but I think I've done enough to win the Player of the Year. And look, I think it's on his mind. I really do. I think he will certainly want to pass Scottie Scheffler, and he is mega motivated to catch, his European teammate Viktor Hovland and the American Collin Morikawa.
Well, speaking of the European teammates, Rory McIlroy is 10 under par for the tournament. That is 3 under after his starting strokes are applied. All of them coming here on Friday at 67. Rory continues to seemingly battle the back injury. I think he looked a little bit better here on Friday. He's got 3 under, but is this too far? It's 6 shots off the lead for a seemingly ailing Rory, who has not only 6 guys between him, but we're talking about big time boppers.
If you're not beating Rory McIlroy this week in the shadow leaderboard, just hang him up. Okay. Forfeit your FedEx Cup money to the local charities of Atlanta and get out of Dodge, because he said today he did look better. I will say that he looked more fluid, more loose, but he said afterwards he can't hit the ball left to right. He has no idea what he's doing with his iron play, and boom, you shoot 3 under 67. Of course, I have that same issue as well. So
I was going to say that's you just described my game.
Yeah. And there are 2 things that kind of stood out to me in his post round interview. The first was he's like, I would hope it would pop this week as opposed to 4 weeks from now for the Ryder Cup. And the second was, I didn't know he's committed to both the Irish Open and the BMW PGA. So he's only got 1 week off after this. But like you said, he's 5 strokes back at the moment?
6 shots back.
I think that's just the amount of people between him and the top and the quality. I mean, Xander Schauffele never shot under par here. Jon Rahm's getting it done. Scheffler, Hovland, Morikawa.
Keegan
And-
Bradley.
Oh, we'll get to him, Rick. We will get to Keegan Bradley.
No, we'll get to him tomorrow if he shoots another 67.
Future FedEx Cup winner, Keegan Bradley. Write it down. Where I just think there's too many big names, too many strokes to make up, and you have a less than 100% Rory McIlroy, where I think it's just too much even for him at this golf course.
What does Vegas think, Josh? What does Vegas think about Rory McIlroy's chances to win? 22-1. That is behind Xander Schauffele at 14-1. It is behind Jon Rahm at 8.5. It is behind Scottie Scheffler at plus 320. Collin Morikawa plus 260. But the favorite to win the 2023 Tour Championship and FedEx Cup at plus 165 is Viktor Hovland.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that. I cannot disagree with that. I think the play here, I don't think it's the man highlighted, unfortunately.
Which,
I
if
think
you're just listening, is Collin Morikawa.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to drive them to the YouTube channel here, Rick.
I think, is it better for us on the, like, is a listen, is a watch, or does it matter, Josh? Do we care how they consume? I don't know the answer to that.
But I think it's got to be either of the guys sandwiching him, whether you want to go Hovland at the shorter price or Scheffler at more than 3-1, which is more than double his pre-tournament from 2 back. But for the real gamers out there, the real people in the know, little inside baseball, Keegan Bradley 25-1. He wins it. Rory McIlroy withdraws. Patrick wins the one and done.
Oh,
the crowd goes wild.
Got it.
It's the best comeback since Rory McIlroy's 2022 FedEx Cup, and everyone sails off into the sunset.
Wow. So they sent you the script early then?
They did. They sent me the script.
Nice.
Big J was lucky enough to pass it along. My buddy, who actually does business in Atlanta, funny enough, was walking out of the office and he texted me. He goes, "Just ran into Jay, ZJ, and Sync in downtown Atlanta."
Oh boy, that seems like a party crowd, doesn't it?
A little Ryder Cup chatter, I think.
Yeah, little Ryder Cup chatter. All right. Well, listen, we've got 36 to go in Atlanta. Not sure if you've heard. It's hot there. We will be in the air conditioning while we recap each of the final 2 rounds. Big thanks to producer Josh, who does all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald, available on X at Amateur Status. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.